back to another episode of Bariatric Banter Podcast.
We're still here
Still here.
with my man voice.
Oh, you honestly don't sound as sick as you think you are. Like
Right.
you sound good. So
Because my youngest goes yesterday. She goes, "Mom, I'm really sorry that I got you sick." And I was like, "It's fine." She goes, "But I like your voice better when you're sick." And I was like,
oh
"What?"
no.
Yeah. She's like, "I wish you could not be sick, but keep your sick voice. I like it better." And I was like, "I don't know how to take that.
No, I don't either.
Like, I don't know if that's a compliment or if I should be, I don't know."
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think people sound I don't know. There's something cool about the raspy voice when you're sick, right? But maybe
Yeah.
it's like a what's that phenomenon that like dogs listen to, not that your child's a dog, but like dogs listen to men more because of the
It's like a
audio tone.
lower, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe there's something when
Maybe.
we're sick where like our kids will listen. Our kids, I don't have
They
kids.
tune in more,
Yeah, because they're like, "Oh, I can understand my mom more." I don't know.
right?
Maybe that's
It was so funny. I like
Oh,
your voice
Steph.
better when you're sick. Huh, thanks.
Well, I
Alright.
think you sound awesome.
Thank you.
And I'm digging the Toronto Blue Jays shirt that you
Thank
got going
you.
on
My
today. It's a
my
very good
thrifting
look.
find, my $3 thrifting find.
Hey, listen,
I
we're
know,
both wearing thrifting finds,
right?
and they're both very Canadian. This is not a nod to Friends. I'm not a Friends fan. Sorry if we lose
Oh,
followers.
we
I'm
can't
from
be
the
friends
East
anymore then.
Coast, so this is
Our
my Nova
podcast is
Scotia.
over.
I don't like it.
Oh my
I
gosh,
don't.
I've seen it so many times.
I've tried. Like I think we all have like for me it's The Office or
Mhm.
honestly like a million other shows that aren't Friends, like The
Yeah, I
Office,
love it.
Seinfeld, Project Runway, which is free on YouTube and I'm literally watching all seasons. Um
Binging.
never got into Friends. Tried,
Oh,
can't.
so
Can't
good.
do it. Can't do it. Um, but I get it. My mom is very obsessed with it. So you know what? If you think that this is my lobster shirt, cool.
Yep,
If you think it's my East Coast shirt, also
either way,
cool. Either
it's
way.
great.
And like always, we have Bobo here, just gnawing
Just
on a
going to
bone in the
town.
background.
He's so cute.
He's
I
our
love
he's
no,
our
like
podcast mascot.
thrifting has been like such a, we're gonna go down a rabbit hole. But
That's
thrifting
okay.
has been like such a good, I was never a big thrifter.
Same.
The odd time, like, hit a Value Village, whatever. But now being that weird, like going through sizes
Mhm.
in such spurts and not knowing where you are and things fitting one week and then not the other, it's been the best. It's
It
been
has.
such a good little like tip trick. I
It
found so
is
many good mainly shirts. I'll be up,
okay.
mainly shirts. But I
I'm in
found
my
so many
jean
good like
era. Keep
like
buying
yeah.
jeans.
Well, I found a pair of jeans that were what were they, $6 and then they were 50% off. So I got a pair of jeans for $3. But mostly it's been shirts, like $3, $4.
Yeah. And
Great,
that's like the thing I love about thrifting is I'm buying an ass load of things and
right?
I'm like, I only spent 20 bucks.
Yeah.
Maybe
And then
it's
if you
like
only wear it for a little bit, it was
it's
$3.
$3. So who cares,
Yeah.
right? If it falls apart, if it gets tattered.
Yeah.
Um, there's like multiple things I like about it. I think also like thrifting has just become very cool
Yes.
recently. And I love that because I think it just had this notion for too long. I remember when we first moved from Nova Scotia to Ontario, my mom decided not to go back to work for a
Yeah.
bit to see if we would adjust because,
Yeah.
little country kids coming to the big city.
Yep.
And so my dad was working at Chrysler. My mom's like, I'll go be a nurse in like a year or two again, like once they settle. So we shopped at Value Village because she's like, Hannah, we moved from Nova Scotia, where the cost of living was next to nothing, to Windsor, Ontario in its heyday.
Yeah.
And things were expensive. And she's like,
For
I just
sure.
felt so bad that we had to go there. But she said, you know what? It put clothes on your back
Yeah.
and it helped us. And like, you know what? I have no shame anymore for it. And I
Yeah.
was like, I'm glad there's no shame involved in thrifting anymore because
Yeah.
it's like there's something so cool about not only getting clothes, but it's like my adventure of finding it. And I can wear brands that I never have worn in my
Right.
life, which like fuck those brands. But still, I'm like, oh, I have
But
Hollister
the
jeans.
excitement of going through the rack and being like, no, 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 no. And
Yes.
then finding a gem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like as a
Yeah. It's been really
bariatric
fun.
patient, and I'm sure this is for anybody, but like as a bariatric patient, like your donations make my day. And I think there's something kind of cool about thinking about I gave away my clothes. Like I donated all my clothes. I
Yep.
did, and this was kind of like one of those, I did reach out to friends and say, would anybody like these? And there was a moment where I was like, oh, is that mean? Like, ah,
I did
fuck.
the same thing.
Should I not offer my clothes to people?
Yes.
Like, am I inferring something? And then I was like,
Right.
no, shut the fuck up. Like you're
I did the
no.
exact same thing. I
I felt
messaged
so
2
guilty.
people and I was like, "Hey, I'm going through my stuff. I'm just wondering, like, are you interested in any, like, before I get rid of all my shirts or whatever, are you interested?" And then same thing, I was like, "Oh,
Is that
should I have
mean?
done that? Like, is that"
Yeah. Is
and I
that
felt bad,
rude?
right?
I don't
But then I
think
was like,
it's
"Oh,
rude. Like, there was a moment where I thought, "Oh," but I think I was like I was internalizing it too much because I
yes,
didn't think it was rude, but also, I don't know, let us know, like, is it rude to offer your clothes that don't fit anymore to your friends that you think it would fit? Are
right."
you, calling them like, I don't know,
Well, that's
so
the thing, I didn't even know what size exactly these people were.
me either.
So, if they would have said yes, then I would have, been like, "Okay, well, let me know what
Come try it
fits
on.
you," or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I just my instinct was I don't wanna just get rid of all this clothes. Half of them still had like, honestly, I went through my closets the last couple weeks. Number 1, it was way harder than I thought it would be. I
yeah,
thought it would be so easy to get rid of all this clothes that doesn't fit. Oh my god, it was so hard.
so hard.
It was, like, emotional getting rid of clothes. Like, it was hard
You
to
also have this
part
little
with
voice
it.
that says,
You
"Well,
might need
maybe
this
I
one
should
day.
just keep something in
Mhm.
case I get fat
Yeah.
again," and it's like, "Oh, no,
No.
no."
But and I mean, yeah, like, it was hard, and I didn't wanna get rid of certain things, but I was like, "Steph, you don't need this anymore."
Yeah.
Um, and then half of it still had tags on it
Yeah. Yeah.
because ugh, it's just ridiculous. But then, yeah, like, I was like, "I don't wanna just get rid of this stuff. If I know somebody who I think could use it," but then I felt bad asking.
Yeah, and that's the thing, I felt guilty. I got
Yeah,
over pretty quick because, like, I just started bringing shit home to my mom, and I was like, "Try this shit on and see if it fits you, it's yours now." I
yep,
think the problem was when it was, like, larges and I was giving away larges, I didn't feel bad at all. I was like, "It's a large, that's awesome."
right,
I think when it was my plus size clothing, I felt like an asshole being like,
yep,
"Does anybody want this?" And, like, I wasn't trying to infer that they were plus size or
right.
big. I just was like, I had beautiful winter coats that barely
That's
got
the thing.
used. I
Yeah,
had beautiful dresses. Like, it wasn't even like
yeah,
it was like, "Here are my ratty, crappy leggings." It was like, "Does anybody want this Laura winter coat or
right?
ball gown that I had to buy for a wedding?" Like,
Yeah.
these are gorgeous items.
Yeah,
Would any of you want them? But there was this moment where I was like, I think I'm an asshole for offering this up. And it's like,
yeah.
why? That's
I
a
felt the
horrible
same.
feeling to have. But I did donate it and I kind of
Yep,
almost felt better about donating it because I was like, you know what? Plus size Hannah would have loved to have stumbled along and found some of these
yeah,
things that weren't just moo and floral stretch t-shirts. Like it's
yep.
it's still hard, I think, even with thrifting to find things that fit you. So I donated all my stuff because I know how much joy I get now when
When
I
you
find
find
something thrifting. And I was like, I want people to have that when they find my
right,
stuff.
yeah.
Um,
Especially
and
in
I
the
like
bigger sizes that are hard to find or very expensive at a regular store.
yeah.
Right.
So like my jeans are my thing. I don't know why. I think it's because I just like avoided jeans for so long.
Mhm.
It's not a bucket list item because I know we talked about that last week
Yeah.
about getting like a luxury brand. I'm still
Yes.
gonna do that. But I did get a pair of Levi's for the first
Oh,
time in my life last
nice.
weekend, and I was like, "Whoa, this is really cool." Like, in the store, actual Levi's
Like, off the shelf.
in my size, and I was like, "Oh."
It's a moment.
Yeah, it was a great moment because I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh," and the lady said and I'm not trying to like, this is not a humble brag, but she was like, "What are you looking for?"
Right.
And I was like, "I don't know how to read your sizes, I'm
Right.
sorry, because it's
Right.
like the length and the waist," and I was like,
Mhm.
She's like, "Well, you're kinda short, so I think you'd be like a 30 or like like you'd be a shorter length, but,
Right.
you could probably pull off a 30 if you had like a little wedge shoe." And I was like, "Thanks for calling me short, but yes, cool." And then she's like, "What size do you need?" And I said, "Honestly, I don't
Uh-huh.
know." I said, "Probably a 12." And she was like, "No, I think I'm gonna get you an 8 and a
And
10
you're like,
and, like,
"Okay."
try those on." And I was like, "Alright, in your fucking wildest dreams." And she brought them back and I was
It
like
fits.
they fit,
It
like, the
fits.
8 and the 10. And the 10, like, it had a little room, but it still looked kinda cute. Now the
Yeah.
8 was, like, she fit, but I was like, I
A
can
little snug.
feel her fitting, so she's a
Yep.
little more form-fitting, but I came
Yep.
out, my mom's like, "Honestly, they're both okay." Like, the 8
Yeah.
is a little more snug, and I was like,
Yep.
"Yeah." And she's like, "And the 10 has, like, a little bit more looseness around the butt." And I was like,
Mhm.
"What do I go?" And, like, so now I had
You're,
choices
like, right in the
too,
middle.
where I was
Yeah.
like, "Shit, do you make a 9? Like, is there a 9?" So, I did go with the 8 because it did look it looked great through the legs. It's
Perfect.
just I have loose skin. We'll see what we can do at the top. It still looks good. Like in no way
Yeah.
is it muffin topping or too
Yep.
small, but it's just like I can see the button imprints when I take it off and I'm like, it's fine. I'm buying these.
I'll make it work. But
But
it's true, that's something you don't think about is the sizing, like,
yeah.
when I went shopping the other day and I went into the store, same thing, I just wanted to get a couple pair of jeans because all the jeans I had were now up to the point where they were too big, like, they looked too big. Um, and I walked in and same thing, like, we're used to always going to the back of the store, like,
Mhm.
always going to the plus size, right?
Yep. Which is always at the back. It's
It's
like, oh, let's
always they
keep them
always make you
away
walk
from the
through
front. Like,
well, and it's, let's go walk through all the stuff you can't have,
thank
and
you.
let's make you
Which
look at
like
everything you can't have,
why
which
is
is
that a
always
different
better.
material? And why is that cuter? Like,
Right,
I have a bone to pick with
right,
Maurice's doing this because, like, you are supposed to be a plus size store.
right, but no, it's still at the back, and that's where I
Mhm,
was, and I
mhm.
walked in, and same thing, I was like, "Okay, you know what? I have no idea what size I am right now. I'm gonna try a bunch of different pairs of jeans on."
Yep.
And I didn't even clue in that it was the front of the store, but there was a pair up there that in the picture, the girl was like a little bit of a broader hip, broader thigh, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And so I was like, "I should try those on." And they were silver jeans. Excuse me. And so I walked over and I start scrolling the jeans
Mhm.
and instantly realize, "Oh, these are regular size." And same thing, it was like 30, 32,
I don't
34,
know how to read
36.
those.
And I was like, I,
Mhm.
I don't
I
know.
had to Google it because I
I
was
no
like,
idea.
I don't
So I
understand
just
this.
started grabbing. I just, like, instinctively went to the bottom of the pile
Yeah.
to the biggest size, and I was like, "Maybe?" But yeah, like, never even thought to include that. Oh my gosh, I haven't worn jeans that are a, like, normal numbered size since I was a child.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, all these things
On the
that you just don't
Don't know.
think
And
you don't think
I would
about.
say with jeans, and like I'd be really and then promise we'll get to our topic, guys,
Yeah.
which is a good topic this week. With jeans, this is something I'm noticing now too. The difference between when you start
Mhm.
getting down in size, like the difference between a 10 and an 8 and a 6, like it is
Yeah.
minuscule.
Oh, yeah.
Yet the difference between a 1X, a 2X, a 3X, I'm like, Jesus. Like
So
it might as
different.
well be 15 sizes. Like I find the
Mhm.
difference when you're in plus size
Massive.
infuriatingly large. And I
Massive.
didn't mean like large as in your size. I mean like
To go from one to
it
another.
doesn't feel close at all. And
No.
now I'm noticing as I'm shopping, a 10 is almost identical to an 8, and 8 is almost identical to a 6. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can't fit into a 6, but I'm
But
noticing
it's not much different. But a
no, and there should
1X
have
to a
been.
2X is huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there would be times where, like, before I eventually became a 2X, I was in between sizes, and I was like,
Yep.
"This sucks." Like, this is whoa, this is huge, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a" and I get it. As you get smaller, I guess your measurements become less and like, and I do
The
understand that
ratio
maybe,
of differences. Yeah.
yeah, but, like, come
But
on, we have
still.
to do better. There has to either be half sizes introduced or something, like and we're
Yeah.
still gonna advocate for this no matter if we've lost weight or not, like, plus size clothing needs to do better.
Yeah.
I used to have to wear men's clothing when I was a kid because we just didn't have plus size, and that
Mhm.
scarred me for life because
Yep.
that was not fun, but, like, plus size needs to just do better. We were at Maurice's on the weekend, after thrifting, and I was like, this used to be my haven. And my mom did say, you know what, when you were plus size, this was a great store. Like they did
Yeah.
actually have things. I said they did, but I feel like it's gone downhill.
It has
Um,
changed a lot. It
it
has.
feels cheaper. It feels like
Yep.
the materials are dumpier. Like I'm plus size. I don't want to be in a tent. I'm plus size. I don't want to be in floral, stretchy, loose,
Or
baggy
graphic
material.
everything.
Yeah, there's a great influencer, I can't think of her name, but she does the, like she's in the change room trying stuff on, she's so funny, and she'll put on the plus size clothing and then come out, and she's like, "Ooh, a cold shoulder," like and she's so funny about the stuff she's trying on,
'Cause it's
um,
so
but
ridiculous.
it's true, it either looks matronly, it's overly stretchy, and it's like, I'm not ashamed of things, it's peplum,
Yeah.
or it's got, like, the weirdest cutouts in places
And
where it's like
stupid it's either all band graphics or
Mhm.
just stupid graphics. Like, when I went to the store, um, I would say 85% to 90% of the T-shirts were graphic. And I
Yeah,
was like, I'm
don't want
not like
that.
if I'm plus size, I don't want a big graphic on me to draw
on
even
me.
more attention
Yeah, that's
to
gonna
me.
be
Like,
warped and
yeah,
distorted, and I
yeah.
don't like that
Drives
the
me nuts.
material the plus size clothes is made out of is
Crap.
often not the material the regular clothes are made out of, and that pisses me off. That
And all the
material's not
pants are
flattering.
stretchy.
Yeah.
All the pants are every jeans are jeggings.
Jeggings, yeah, which, like,
Like,
cool, thank you,
no.
I'm just gonna rub a hole through them in a week, and I
Right.
like well, you know what? We'll do a whole topic on this because, yeah, wearing clothes when
Down
I
the
was plus
spiral.
size, the holes in my jeans, the things
Oh
that
my
I
god.
couldn't wear, like, it was a whole thing, so
So
I
many pairs
think
of
now
it.
that's why I really like wearing jeans. Um, and it was funny, okay, last and then I promise we'll get into the topic. I got a pair of jeans, they were PacSun because, like, I'm now just being, like, a brand, you know,
Brand stuff.
aficionado, like, yeah.
Yep.
Basically, because I had never, ever,
'Cause you
ever
can.
growing up was allowed like, could fit in these. I couldn't go to
Yeah.
Hollister or Abercrombie or
Oh
fucking
god, no.
PacSun. So I got a pair and it's like the ripped pair, right? Like,
Yeah.
holes everywhere, super ripped, and I was like, "Oh my god. Oh my god." Like, 16-year-old Hannah would be freaking out. So I put them on, and it was funny because, like, we're outside in the backyard. My dad goes, "Whoa, why'd you even buy those? There's
Oh my
nothing
god.
left.
I
You
love when
spend
the
money on them?
yeah.
Like, look at all the holes in them." And I was
My
like,
opa used to say that all the time.
"It finally happened."
Right?
Like,
I finally
I
had my
never had that
moment.
moment.
Yeah, my opa
So
used to make fun of my brother all the time because he had ripped jeans. He'd say, "Why do you pay money for that? I could make those for you. Like, why do
yep,
you spend all this money for pants where half of them are missing? I don't understand."
and I
Yep,
laughed because, like, I've never had that moment. I never had that,
and you
like,
finally got it.
TV, teenage, childhood
Yeah,
moment where your dad criticizes the outfit you're wearing. Because, like, "Oh my god," because, like, again, I wore Carhartt men's
mhm,
level shit. So,
yeah,
it was kinda funny.
I love it. I love
Okay,
it.
this week, we'll do a whole
It's
episode on
alright.
thrifting. Maybe we'll take you guys with us one day and show you, like, our
There you
thrift
go.
finds.
Yep.
We're gonna talk about myths. Myths
Mhm.
about bariatric surgery. I'm so excited about
There's
this.
so many.
Yeah, we get asked a lot of these. We see them everywhere. Like, oh my goodness, the amount that we see on Reddit or social media.
Insane.
And I was like, it is time. Hello, Mufasa from The Lion King. We need to talk about the myths. Now,
Mhm.
we're obviously not experts. It's not like it's
Yeah,
like Hannah and Steph 10 years post op, but we're going to tell you about them from our perspective so far. And we'll do another episode about this in a year and see if our opinions have changed. And then a year and a year. So, yeah, we're going to break down a lot of them from the perspective of 6.5, 7 months post op. Yeah, close to six
me?
months.
6. Just hit
Six.
6.
Just
Just
hit
hit 6.
six. And then we'll do just over 2 years. But these are juicy, these are good, and the reason we're doing this is a lot of you will use these to not have surgery,
Mhm.
and this is no like, in no way was that a criticism of you. I think what happens is you get inundated with
Yeah.
these, and then you go, "Oh my god, I don't think I wanna do this," and we both will tell you we don't regret the surgery, we wish we did it
Gosh,
sooner,
no.
and we
Yeah.
advocate for this so heavily, and we're not paid to say that. Um, so we if we can do anything to convince people that this is the best step for them, we will. So we're going to actually try to tackle some of the things that cause people to back out of surgery
Yeah.
because they're just not true, or maybe they're true but not as fearful as you need to
Right.
be.
Yeah, maybe they're a little bit out of proportion or mixed
Yes.
messaging or kind of have been construed a little bit incorrectly through what you've seen or heard. Because
Yeah.
there are people out there, even in terms of, I know this one's not on our list, but as an example, pain after surgery, right? I
Hmm.
remember before I had surgery, like you and I talked about this a lot
Yep.
because I'm a wuss. I'd never had surgery. I don't like pain.
Yes.
Um, and there's gas pain after surgery because they fill you up with gas to make room
Yeah,
for
they
them to
inflate your
do what they
stomach.
need to do. And like gas gets trapped and has to come out. So there's gas pain. But I remember seeing videos where people after bariatric surgery were just going on and on about how they've had kids before and they would rather give birth over and over again than go through the pain of bariatric surgery. I saw people that were like bawling their eyes out in videos after surgery and recovery about how much pain they were. And I remember like messaging Hannah and being like, "Is this for real? Because I'm not
Yeah,
like I
you
am
did.
not okay with this. Like
Mm-mm.
hard no. Like sorry, but no." And I
Hmm.
remember specifically the ones about childbirth. And I
Yeah,
was like, "Okay,
it
no.
can't
Like
be right.
if you'd rather push a human out of your body then deal with recovery of bariatric surgery, something is not
Not right.
right here.
I think this
Um,
is the good myth to start with because
right?
you know what? Yeah, is bariatric surgery more painful
No,
than childbirth?
no. Well, I mean, okay, my kids are adopted, so I can't say, but
I don't have kids either,
I
but I'm
can
gonna
from
adamantly
what
say
I
no.
yeah, from what I've been told, no.
Yeah, and if this is
Definitely
more painful than
no.
childbirth, I'd be popping out 900 kids a year because,
Right.
like, this was not
Was
painful.
right. Was there some now we had different, like, experiences, right?
Mhm,
Did I have gas pain? Yes.
mhm.
Was it excruciating? No. Was it horrible? No.
No.
They did give me IV pain medication in the hospital. I didn't even know at first that they were giving it to me. It was just hooked up to my
Very
IV.
interesting.
Yeah, it was just hanging there. It wasn't morphine or anything. It was I can't even remember what it's called now, tramadol, I think, which
Okay.
is apparently like in between Tylenol and the next step up.
Hmm,
But I literally had one bag of that. And
okay.
then afterwards they tried to give me Tylenol and it was fine. Like was it uncomfortable? Yeah. Was it painful? I wouldn't really say
Discomfort.
painful.
I'd
It
say
was
discomfort.
discomfort and it was awe like it was annoying. There was a little bit of like pressure pain, we'll say, in my
Yeah.
shoulders, but
Because like, your stomach
nothing.
is much higher than you think it is. I think that's the other thing
Yeah, and
people
it
are like,
travels, right?
"Oh,
Like it
down here,"
goes
and it's
gas
like
goes up.
because it's
Um,
pushing. Like, your stomach
yes,
will push this
push
way,
things.
right?
Yeah,
So, of course, you're gonna feel it up here.
yeah. But
Yeah.
was it anything that I couldn't tolerate? No.
No. I
It
will
was
say
no it
same.
was fine.
It was absolutely fine. Now we didn't have bypass. I probably suspect bypass to be a bit different. It is a more invasive surgery. That's probably harder. Are there people who have pain after surgery? Yes, and we
Yeah.
are not discrediting them.
Yep.
There are some people on social saying that it was so painful to have sleeves specifically that they couldn't put their clothes on and they had to have their husbands
Oh,
dress them
yeah.
and
They couldn't
they couldn't
stand
take
for
a
days.
yeah, they couldn't stand and they were bedridden for days and
No,
I think understand your pain threshold, but also like total wuss over here as well. And
it was
was
fine.
fine. I literally had day surgery, like went in at 7, came home at 3, was fine, like
And you're
walked around my house the next day. So
yeah,
discomfort, yep. If you've ever had to like, how do I explain gas pain if you haven't had gas pain? Um,
and like a
Drinking
pressure.
chugging a pop really quickly or
Yeah,
drinking a bubbly water really quickly, and yeah, you just kind of feel like, "Oh, could someone just poke a hole in my stomach so
yeah.
this all just kinda goes." Pff. Or if you've ever had to, like and I'm sorry, this is gonna be really funny. If you ever had a little bit of cramping and then you fart and you feel better and you're like,
That is gas
"Oh,
pain.
that's what gas pain is." It's like,
Yeah,
"Boy,
but
I
it's
really
yeah,
wish I could fart right now." Like,
yeah.
I just if I could fart, this
I
cramp
feel
would
so
go
much
away.
better.
Yeah, so, like,
Yeah,
for women, it's gonna be the cramping would be akin to a period and not even, like, a
and it
bad
wasn't even that
period.
bad. My period
No.
cramps are worse than recovery from my
Yeah.
surgery. Let's put it
And
that
the
way.
incisions don't hurt. They're itchy, but the
Yeah.
incisions are less than an inch wide.
Yep.
They don't hurt.
No,
You almost don't even realize they're there, with the rare exception of sometimes it would just like sting for a minute because my
you
shirt
move the
rubbed
wrong
against
way.
it.
Yeah, or
Yeah, you move the
if
and
you
you're like,
pull the
oh,
wrong
ow!
way,
Like it's like being poked or like a
like a
oh, you touched a
scratch.
paper cut with hand sanitizer for a hot minute. It didn't last long. It was more like,
No.
oh, yeah, stuck on my shirt. Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
But no, the pain of bariatric surgery is not akin to childbirth. It's not
No.
akin to losing a leg. It is not gonna, you're not gonna be in the hospital for weeks and weeks and weeks
No.
and weeks. Um, there are complications with everything. Like you could have complications from having your wisdom teeth removed.
Yep.
So sure, there
There's
will
always a
be
risk.
stories of people who are like,
Yep.
well, I was in the hospital vomiting for 2 months straight. You had a complication.
Mhm.
And they will tell you in surgery, good surgeons will, the complication like numbers. And when I chose sleeve over bypass, it's because they were like, we've had if we did he said, "I've done 13 this year so far and had 0. I've done 20 bypass and had 2 complications, and they weren't major complications." And I said, "Okay." And the complications for bypass were a lot more scary than the complications for,
It's more invasive.
sleeve, so I chose sleeve, but this myth, I think we can officially, like, stamp for the majority of you.
Yeah.
It is not gonna be that painful, and the whole purpose of of the surgery is that you're supposed to be on your feet. Like
Yeah, it
literally,
gets you
you're
up and moving.
supposed to be up and walking. They make you walk in the hospital after surgery. So obviously, like you're not
Yep.
supposed to be anyway in a lot of pain. I know my friend who's a nurse was like, they have the morphine buttons at
Yep.
the beds, and so they will track you can only push it a certain amount of times an hour,
Cut you
and
off.
she's like, "Bariatric surgery patients are at the top for, like, just pushing the button," and I was like, "You might have just seen the worst case because, A, I was not hooked up
I didn't
to a
even get
morphine
one. No,
button
I didn't even get one of
at
those.
all," and
Nope.
I was like, I was not in pain. I was
No.
tired, I was cranky, I was grumpy, and in discomfort, but I was not on pain meds after. I had no complications, knock on wood, which was great, and even if I did have complications, they would be basically vomiting, having nausea, having heartburn. Again, not things that are akin to childbirth pain.
No.
So you're not going to wake up in excruciating pain. You won't be in pain for weeks.
No.
I'd say that I had more pain after wisdom teeth surgery than I
Yeah.
ever did after bariatric surgery.
Agreed. Agreed. Like I said, my period cramps hurt more
Yeah,
with
I've
surgery. The
had worse
only like
periods than this
yeah, I
surgery.
didn't take Tylenol. Like when they go home, they say, they they sent me home with Percocet, which I was like, dude, I'm like, I didn't even take Tylenol
Mm-mm.
at the hospital. Why are you sending me home with Percocet? Whole
Yes.
nother issue.
Yeah.
But I didn't even take Tylenol at home. I did, I will say, on day two, well, what would no, day three ish, I think. I did have a little bit of soreness, like going from laying down to sitting up.
Okay.
But it was almost, it only felt like, like if you do like a good ab workout the day before, and then
Oh,
you go to
yeah.
get up and you're just like a little like, oh, there she is.
Yes.
But again, nothing that
No.
that was not
It's not like having a
intolerable.
C-section.
No,
We've talked to enough people
no,
who've had this that have had
no.
children. It's,
It
almost
was like
like
an
it's
ab
more like
workout.
hernia. Not pain, sorry, but
No,
you act like you've had a hernia, as in don't lift heavy
don't lift,
objects,
don't
be
bend too
careful that you
much.
don't strain
Yeah,
those muscles.
let things heal.
But there was no cramping Charlie horses, there was
No,
nothing, like again, every now and then you get that little, like, electrical "zoo ooh, ah," on the incision because it gets snagged on a shirt or it just rubs the wrong way. It's less than a second, and it's not painful, it's more just like, "Ugh."
yeah.
Um, but yes,
People,
there are complications people can have, I do understand that, but for the vast majority of you, no. Please do not let this fear that this is excruciating prevent you from doing surgery because we have spoken to a lot of people a lot. And sure, there's always going to be exceptions to the
for
rule.
sure.
This is a very minimal pain
Yeah,
surgery. That's why
yeah,
they're doing day surgery. They
right.
wouldn't do day surgery if you were in like excruciating pain.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. So
No,
that's one myth.
done.
Another myth that we hear often is, and I have my little list,
Yep.
you'll never be able to eat normally again. And this
Lies.
myth keeps people
Lies.
from ever doing surgery. And you'll
Oh,
see
people
it
are
on
so scared.
Reddit all the time.
Yep.
Oh man, like I know this person who had bariatric surgery and like they're barely eating half a cup and they just eat boiled chicken. Like, am I going to be eating like this forever? Or you'll see people who've had surgery. Oh my God, I'm only able to eat blank. Like, am I going to be like this
I miss
forever?
food.
And it's like, okay.
No.
So let's put a little logic behind this one. If you're 2 months post op,
Different
yeah,
story.
you're obviously eating mushy
Your food
food.
sucks, let's be
Yeah,
honest. Your food
because
sucks.
you're 2 months post-op.
Yeah.
No, that's not gonna be your life forever. Like, are you friggin' Do you follow anybody
How
who's had
would your
bariatric
body
surgery?
survive? Let's be realistic, right? Because I remember too, post-op when I was having, like, those tiny little 2-ounce bowls of soup.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I
Yeah,
remember it, like, it fit in, like, the palm of my hand. And I
yeah.
remember people being like, "Oh my god, that's all you're eating?" And I was like, "Okay." I'm, like, a month out of surgery. My stomach is still swollen. My incisions are not healed. My staples are not healed. Let's be realistic for a second. Do you think I could physically sustain myself if I only ate that for the rest of my life? No. Like,
The answer is no.
think about
Think
it.
logically.
No.
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 So there's 2 parts to this. Let's tackle the portion size part, and then we'll
Yeah.
tackle, like, the
The
"Oh, all I
food.
eat is chicken." So, no, your portion sizes
Yeah.
will grow. Now, keep in mind, because people will always double down on this and go, "Oh my god, is this all I'm ever gonna be able to
Yeah.
eat? Can I go back to eating normally?" Let's break down what normal is. How you ate before surgery,
It's not
it's
normal.
not normal,
It's
okay?
a
Like,
new
it's
normal.
not, and we
Yeah.
know portion sizes in North America, because Canada is very guilty of this as well.
Yep.
Portion sizes are terrible in North America. So getting your plate, your dinner plate, and putting food on it, and even if you didn't pile your food on it, I guarantee you were over portioning regardless. Like even if you were like, no, my plate was very balanced. Yes, but I guarantee overeating. I
Yeah.
guarantee you have way more rice than you think you do, way more vegetables,
Yeah.
way more like your serving sizes are not great. Because if you
No.
actually look at the serving sizes of things, and we should do an episode on it, blows your fucking mind what a serving size is of
It's like
things.
half of what you think it is usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you shouldn't be eating like you did before surgery. That is
No.
the old you talking. You are mourning the loss of food.
Yep.
You need to get out of that headspace sooner rather than later and embrace the new way that you're eating
There's
because
a new normal.
you cannot go back to that because you actually you can, and that's what regain comes from. And that's why a ton of bariatric people, it's an alarming statistic of 30% regain the weight and then some because you absolutely can go back to this.
Yeah.
Don't. So the portion sizes before, they weren't normal. You will end normally being able to eat a cup. And I am 2 years post op. I am basically at a cup. I would say I'm still not, my stomach just went like, blah, 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 blah.
Well, I know mine's
Um,
going off.
I know it's the strawberries. My plate, I'm still not quite finishing entirely. So I am getting to a cup, but I will end at a cup. I will eat 1 cup of food. And that is half a cup being protein, a quarter being a veg, and a quarter being carbs. Now you can play with, a third of a cup of this and
Yeah, depending on what you're
whatever.
having. Yep.
But that is normal. Like a cup of food is normal. And that is going to be your new normal. But I'm not starving.
Right? And that's the thing. You're not I'm not and people can't get over that when they see because
Mm-mm.
I'm at depending on what it is, I'm at like a quarter cup, um, like 2 ounces. So I'll do like 2 ounces of meat is
Yeah.
my typical thing, and then a little bit of something. So like 2 ounces of chicken with a little bit of lettuce or 2 ounces of chicken with a little bit of broccoli.
Well, because you
Um,
also just got to the raw vegetable stage, right? Like you're
yeah,
now actually
I've
allowed to have
I'm
raw
o
veggies.
yeah, I've just started to I'm like a couple months into the raw veggies, which, was so I've never craved salad so much
I
in my life.
know.
But yeah, you can't have, at least in our program, like I couldn't have raw veggies for 3 months, corn for 3 months,
Yep.
certain other foods for 3 months. I just, now that I'm 6 months, can have pork and red meat. So I just hit that yesterday. But I'm usually at about two, like if I do a cottage cheese bowl, for example, it's a quarter cup of cottage cheese. When I do my food, it's 2 ounces of a chicken or a turkey, and then, like I said, a little bit of veg or something mixed in. But people like constantly, is that all? Is that all you're having? Like, well, first of all, yeah, and I'm stuffed after. Like, it's not, I'm not sitting here starving myself. I
No.
am not hungry. I'm
Nope.
eating every 2 hours.
Mhm.
I'm eating when I'm hungry. I
Mhm.
am not going to bed hungry ever. I'm never sitting here going, oh my God, I just want some food. Because if I was feeling like that, I would eat something.
Exactly.
Um, it's not, yeah, it's not a starving. And I even had this conversation last night. I was at a function and it was a buffet dinner and we're standing in line.
Okay.
And, I kinda jokingly said, there's a kid's price and an adult price." And
Yeah.
I jokingly said, "Man, I should have got to pay for the kids' price." Because let's be honest, I'm
Yeah.
eating less than my kids are,
Mhm.
realistically. And so we
Mhm.
were laughing, and then, the comment was made, "Well, like, I just worry, like, are you gonna be able to, like, sustain yourself?" And I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Well, are you gonna like eating like this forever? Like, I just worry that you're not gonna be able to sustain yourself." And so I had to explain that, no, I will get up to that full cup or those 1,500 calories,
Yes.
but I have to work my way to that point.
Yes. Yeah, you
And then
do.
you could
Yeah.
see they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, so you're not gonna eat like this forever. You're not always gonna only have this much food." No.
Yeah.
No, again, think about it. No, I would not be able to sustain myself if
Correct.
that's all I ate.
Exactly.
Yeah, so no, you do have crap food at the beginning and you do have little
Yes.
portions at the beginning, but that's not permanent.
No. And I think the other thing is Bo is just barking like a lunatic right now.
No.
People seem to have a bigger problem with it than you do. So you'll have a
Yeah,
lot of people comment like, "Is that all you're eating?"
or just
Just
watching. You can
know,
feel them, like,
yeah, they're
watching you sit there
staring,
with
and
your
it's like,
plate. Yeah,
just know I feel fine. I
yeah,
am having more than enough, and
yep,
I feel fine. So, yes, you'll be able to eat normally again, where you
Yeah.
have some meat, some veggies, some carbs, like, yes, but also it's the new normal because you got
Right.
into this situation for a reason. You hear me say that all the time. You don't want to eat the way you ate before.
Yep.
Like, you just don't. I had somebody say that I used to work with who was like, oh man, but like, does that mean that you're never going to have that feeling of like just being so hungry and you sit and eat like just a ton of food and you feel so good after? And I was like, no, and I never wanna get back there, like, I never felt good because I would binge a ton of food. I was like, I feel very full. There's tons of times after
Yeah.
eating that I still get that feeling of like, "Man, that was such a good
Oh,
meal,
shouldn't
like,
have
I
taken
am
that bite.
stuffed." Like,
Yep.
you need to eat different portion sizes, but whatever you think of as normal before surgery or early into surgery, you really need to rethink that because it it's not you're never gonna eat the way you ate before in terms of portion sizes, but yeah, you're not gonna be on soup for the rest of your life.
No.
And yes, you're not just gonna be eating chicken. And here comes part 2 to this myth
Yep.
of, will I be able to eat normally again? Which is, will I ever be able to have carbs? I can't have fruit. I just have to eat chicken. So, like, this all kind of falls into this notion of, oh, I'm only ever going to be eating the most boring crap ever for the rest of my life. I don't want to have surgery because
Yep.
I'm a foodie. I love food. I can't
Yep.
imagine giving up food. If your whole life surrounds around food, you should probably have surgery and really think about it. Um, I have this huge problem with like, why is every social outing ever
Food.
food related? Like, even like, if you and I, Steph, were to get together and call it like a bariatric meeting, I
Yeah.
absolutely would not have food there. I'd be like, why
Right.
don't we go for a walk? Why don't we
Yeah.
get a like a protein coffee and hang out? Like,
Yeah.
why are we still surrounded by every time we get together, there
We have to
needs to
put
be
food
food?
out.
There does not need to be food because all you're going
No.
to do is mindlessly graze and eat. And
Yep.
it's kind of shocking how many bariatric people feel like they need to bring food every time they hang out with each other too, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"But why? You're
Right.
post-op bariatric patients. You should be going for a walk
Because
instead." Like, you should.
they haven't done the mindset work and the mindset shift that food isn't the only thing that can bring you joy and happiness,
Exactly.
right? You
Yeah.
don't need food to be a
No.
part of every
Everything.
interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you kinda need to rethink that, like, just because there's a group of people hanging out does not mean there needs to be food, and you really need to separate your love language, yourself, from this notion that
Yeah.
food, 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 like, it's I understand that food is a comfort, like, when
Mhm.
people are grieving and whatnot, that I get, but, yeah, it's just kinda shocking how like, just look at every single time you hang out with someone, I guarantee you food is
Snacks.
probably related. "Let's
Yeah.
go out for lunch, come on over, I put some crackers out, I have this out,"
Yeah.
like, we're gonna have a meetup and everybody bring a dessert. Like, it's just
It's everywhere. And
no.
it's for us, like, too, I know we've talked about this too, like, it's a cultural thing, right? As soon as somebody's coming by, "Oh my gosh, I don't have any food to put out," or, "Oh, people are coming over tomorrow, I gotta go to the store and get food." So here's the thing, like, it can definitely be hard to break. It is a mindset shift, it can be a
Yeah,
cultural thing, it can be whatever it is. And so if you're going to do that, then still, like you said, there's a lot of these where it's still like, it's still crap.
mhm,
It's still like desserts. It's still chips. It's still this. If you're going to do that, then let's at least do the veggies and the
yeah,
fruit.
just
And
have
let's at
veggies.
least do the healthier
Yeah,
options because yes, we do eat fruits and vegetables and carbs. I had
we
fruits
do.
with my yogurt this morning.
I have
Um,
strawberries right here.
right. So it's a shift, right?
It is, and
It is a shift.
I think it's like pay attention to how often what you do involves a restaurant or involves bringing stuff, like, even with the
Yeah.
best intentions,
Right.
if every time you hang out with certain people, it's always got
Food.
food involved, even again with the best intentions, like it's healthy food or it's
Uh-huh.
just stop and go, right, but should we be sitting inside and just eating every time we hang out? Like,
Should we
maybe
go
we
do
could meet and
something?
go for a walk or be outside or do some like bariatric friendly, like,
Yeah.
even like, why don't we go grocery shopping or why don't we meal prep, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think there's other things that can be done. But this brings up the, okay, so I'll never be able to eat fruit or carbs or XYZ again. Like, I love pizza or I love pasta. And are you saying I'll never have it again? Nope. You can absolutely, especially when you get further out, you can
Yeah.
reintroduce every single thing into your diet. There are plenty of bariatric influencers that eat at fast food chains because I know
Yep.
eating out is kind of like a really big cultural thing in the US that they do
Yep.
often, and they will give you hacks on, you've all seen the videos, I'm sure, of the
Like the
Chick-fil-A
Chick-fil-A
kale
hacks. Yeah.
salad with the grilled nuggies, 300
Yep.
calories, X amount of protein. Um, everything can fit back in.
Yep.
So everything can fit back in. People eat pasta, people eat rice, people eat carbs.
Yeah.
Carbs are not the enemy.
No.
I have carbs in my diet. It is part of the bariatric plan that we've had, where again they say, half a cup of protein, a
Mhm.
quarter cup of veggies, or a third a cup of veggies and a quarter cup of carbs, and the rest is
Yep.
protein. Like carbs fuel your body. In no way should you be going keto. We've said that on another podcast, why you should not be going keto and why the bariatric clinic we went to tells you not to go keto. It's very high fat, and you're not supposed to be on a high fat diet after surgery.
Yep.
Carbs are fine in moderation. Like, don't eat
Yep.
a whole loaf of bread. Don't be
Right.
having 3 cups of rice. Like, carbs don't sit well in my stomach, but they will for others. So, again, moderation.
And
Um,
yeah, and tracking, like we've talked about.
yes,
If it
track it,
fits in your day,
have
go
it.
for it,
Yep.
right? But if you've planned out your day and all of a sudden you want pizza for dinner, or all of a sudden the family's getting pizza for dinner, if you've already planned out your day and it doesn't fit in your day, then you probably shouldn't have it. Find something else.
Correct.
Have a cottage cheese pizza bowl, make pizza with a low carb tortilla, or just don't have it all together. But
Yes.
if you really want the piece of pizza, that's your choice, right? Nobody is saying you can't have pizza after bariatric surgery,
No.
but it needs to fit into your calories and your macros for the day. And if it can, go for
Yeah,
it.
have
Have
it.
your pizza,
Have
right?
it in moderation, have
Yeah.
complex carbs, those are like
Yep.
sweet potatoes, quinoa, things like that. Um, but yes, you can absolutely like I have recipes and I've shared recipes where I've made tacos, I've made little burgers, I've made quesadillas, I've had chicken wings, I've done
Yep.
chicken nuggets, I've had um I don't know, potato dishes. I've had things. I still, have little treats. Like I have Greek yogurt bars or I've made my muffins that I like. Like, yes, you absolutely can fit this stuff back in. But I will tell you, it won't be the same as before. You're not
Yep.
gonna be eating a whole pizza. You actually probably won't even be craving pizza. I do not crave pasta. I do not crave pizza. Bread is a thing, and I do keep bread. I buy a very specific bread. It's shaped like a circle. It's called malt bread. Dempster's makes it. I love it. It's only 50 calories a slice. Like, I love having bread and butter with my breakfast.
Right.
I still have hash browns in the fridge. Like, every now and then, I wanna have a little, like, egg and hash brown
Yeah.
scramble for breakfast. Like,
Right?
I fit in what I wanna fit in from those, but, like, fruits and carbs are not the enemy. I have
Gosh, no.
apples, I have bananas,
Yep.
I have strawberries that I snack on in the summer, tangerines are great.
Yep.
I'm obviously not sitting here eating, like, 52 tangerines a
No.
day, but
Buy
fruit
fruit.
is very
I
important
have
in your
fruit
diet.
and vegetables every day.
Yes. If anybody tells you that you're not supposed to be eating fruit after surgery,
Don't
please
listen to them.
promptly leave that group,
Yeah.
get out of that conversation. That's total horseshit. Vegetables or fruit are so important for your body. And yes, they absolutely fit in. Fruit sugar, I don't try, like, I keep an eye on how much fruit I'm having, but I keep my
I don't
sugar to 10 grams of sugar or less. I do not
I don't
include my
count
fruit in
fruit.
that because then
Me
I'd
neither.
never be able to have fruit. But I keep an eye on the volume of fruit that I
Mhm.
eat. So, like, I weigh this container and then I eat some strawberries out of it, and I make sure I'm not eating more than like a half a cup of
Yeah.
strawberries. But you can eat fruit,
Yep.
you can eat carbs. You probably won't crave carbs as much after. I'm going to be perfectly honest, you probably won't. But any food that you're thinking of, I can guarantee you can have after. It will be up to you. The power is yours.
Mhm.
Bonus tips if anybody knows what that is. It'll be up to you to make sure you make the right choices because
Yeah.
could I go and eat a bunch of chicken wings? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Of
That's
course.
high fat. It's not great for me. I probably shouldn't. So you will be able to eat things that you think that you won't be able to. You
Yeah.
must have the willpower or just the discipline to make better choices. But if
Yes.
you're not having surgery because, oh, I'm not going to be able to eat
You want pizza?
carbs, or I'm not going to be able to eat the way I did before, and I have to eat these tiny portion sizes,
That's a
do
red flag.
not back out of surgery for that.
No.
You're forgetting that how you feel pre-surgery is not how you feel after. You
Yep.
won't physically be hungry after. And it's this kind of notion that's just shocking of, well, everything I do is like you're saying it without saying it. Everything I do involves food, and now my life is going to have no food. How depressing. but now your life has been opened to a world where your world doesn't revolve around food.
Yeah.
That is not depressing.
No,
It's depressing to not have surgery because of food, because you're
you're
again letting
filling
food control your life.
yeah, you're filling your life with so many new experiences and adventures and options that before a lot of the food noise, at least for me, came from boredom. Because if
Yep.
I wasn't doing something and I was bored, well, I might as well just eat.
Might as well
But
eat.
now you're not bored
Mhm.
because you're up and you're moving and you're doing things and you're exercising and you're walking and you're going on new adventures. You're doing new experiences. The world has opened up to things you couldn't do before, that you're not just sitting on the couch watching TV, eating, going, gosh, I wish I could do this. I wish I
Yeah.
could do this. I really would love to go do this. It's a beautiful day out. You're now actually out there enjoying the beautiful day. And all of a sudden you go, oh, it's been a couple hours. I should probably eat something.
Yep.
Not because all you're thinking about is the food.
Exactly. Exactly. So, myth busted. No, you won't always be eating small portions. Yes, you'll be eating smaller portions than before
Yep.
surgery. And yes, you can eat anything after that you previously did. It's just up to you to determine should I?
Yep.
Should I be eating that? Let's do a few rapid fire ones here at the
Okay.
end. This is a good one. You're guaranteed to lose all your excess weight.
I wish.
It's not true.
Nothing in life is guaranteed, guys.
Nothing is guaranteed.
It's not a magic pill. We've talked about this before. It is
No,
not a magic solution. Nothing in life is guaranteed. You
nothing.
need to bust your butt. This goes
Yeah.
back to the whole like, you took the easy way out, you're lazy, you don't want to put in the work, you're just going to have surgery and lose all your weight.
Mhm.
I flippin' wish that was the
I
case. And
wish.
I wish I wasn't getting up at 4:45 to work out every day. And I wish I
Yeah.
wasn't tracking my food. And I wish I like no,
No.
no. You
No.
will lose weight, but you gotta work your ass off literally.
And
Literally, too.
most clinics will not give you a number.
No,
You could ask till you're blue in the face
they
and they
won't
won't
tell
tell
you.
you. Most clinics will say things like, well, we see an average of 30 to 60%, but we can't tell you where you'll fall in that. They won't even tell you what percentage, like if you are where you're supposed to be on your follow-up calls.
No,
Cause I would ask all the time, like, am I where I'm supposed to be? And they
right?
were like,
What? Yeah, no.
you're fine. And I'm
You're
like, no,
doing
tell me,
good.
like, am I ahead of the curve? Am I behind where
They
I'm
won't tell you.
supposed to be? They won't tell you that. But use the online calculators if you want, but please just understand that it's like not everybody gets to 70% weight loss. So that's the other thing when you're picking between the two surgeries and they say, well, bypass can lose up to 80% and sleeve 70. It's not it's not uncommon, but it's also not common for people to be at the end of that scale.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't fall there. Like that's why they tell you in bariatric surgery, you could lose 30% up to X.
Yeah.
The bulk of people actually fall at the low end of what they
Right.
lose. So
Yep.
you have to understand that you're not going to just magically lose 60 to 70% of your excess weight. Some people lose over, but it's more common that you'll be at the 30, maybe 40. And then
Yep.
you'll have to work. You'll have to put the
Yeah.
work in after that to get where you want to get. So
Yep.
no, you are not guaranteed that you're going to lose
No.
the weight. If anything, the reason they won't give you a number on where you'll be is because you're going to set yourself up for disappointment if you think that
Yeah.
like, well, I'm going to lose 80% of my weight and then
And
you
then you
lose
don't,
30.
you're gonna be
Yeah.
pissed. And then you're
So,
gonna throw in the towel.
yep,
You're probably gonna be part of that regain. You're gonna say,
yep,
"What's the point?" Yeah.
exactly.
No.
And there are a
It
ton
is
of people like there's slow losers and fast losers, but there are a lot of people who are like 4, 5, 6 months post-op where you can tell like, oh, they're where they're going to be. That's it.
yeah.
And you'll see them post on videos like, "Is I'm only going to lose 50 pounds. Like this is it." That is it for some people.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the
And it's
reality for some.
a combination of things. Like it's not because
Yep.
surgery failed.
Yep.
It's probably because there's some decisions that are being made behind the scenes that they don't want to admit. Some eating choices, some exercise choices, some other choices. But
Yep.
yes, myth that you will lose all your excess weight. Nope, you absolutely won't. So don't go into this thinking that in a year you're going to shed everything.
I
Here's
wish.
another myth. I will lose all the weight I need to lose in my first year. Nope. It takes an average of, I think, 18 to 36 months. Like they honestly say takes almost 3 years to get where you want to get. Now, do people get there faster? Sure.
Sure.
But the average person takes 3 years to get to their goal weight.
Yeah.
So
Patience,
keep that in
guys.
mind.
And it goes back to you didn't get there overnight. You didn't
Correct.
get to where you were overnight. You're not gonna get to where you wanna be overnight either. It takes
Correct.
time, it
Yes.
takes work, it takes effort.
And you will need
It's
to
a
do this work
process.
for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So don't go into this expecting to see miraculously everything come off in your first year. You will see fast weight loss in your first
Mhm.
year, but you probably will not get to your goal weight or get where you finally want to get until closer to your second and third year. I can attest to that. I am still not exactly where I want to be, and it probably will take me till the better part at the end of this year to get where I want to get. And that's fine. Like, I'm not in a rush. It takes time.
Yeah.
Um,
Trust the process.
Trust the process. Yeah, the guaranteed weight loss one is
No.
very funny. You can never we did that one. I think okay,
Uh-oh.
you can never regain the weight if you are successful in your first few years.
That's crap.
That's a lie.
That's
That's a
crap.
lie.
You definitely can.
Um,
You
you
can
can
regain the
regain
weight
it
10 years out.
you can regain at any point. There are
Yeah.
tons of people who are 10 years post-op that are now struggling with regain. So that's a lie. It doesn't matter how successful you are at the beginning. Now, they will say there are some long-term success markers that usually will help the team determine if you will be successful long term. That
Right.
is things like hitting certain weight loss kind of goals, being able to
Yep.
maintain after a certain period of time. Like, and this is
There's
again, not
indicators.
everyone is
There's
typical.
indicators. Yeah.
You know, if you can maintain that weight loss after 3 years, like the 3, 4 year mark, then typically they say
Yeah.
most people are a bit successful. However, it doesn't matter. There's people who maintain that weight loss for 10 years, then all of a sudden something
Something
happened and
happens.
away
Yep.
they go and they're gaining back.
Something
So,
in their life changes. There's
yeah,
some event that happens, or they just say enough.
exactly.
Yeah.
It does not matter how successful you are in that first year. Yes, anybody can regain the weight. It doesn't matter what surgery you have either. Bypass versus sleeve, they both can regain.
Yeah.
One
Exactly.
surgery is not better than the other in that
No.
term.
No.
So, yes, you can regain. Yes, you can regain and then some. So just keep that in mind. Um, I'll say here's another quick fire myth. If I regain, it's because surgery failed.
No.
Nope.
No, it's
Sorry.
because I hate to say it, but it's because you failed
Yes.
in some way or another, right? And like I said, sometimes it's something in somebody's life that happens, and maybe they couldn't control
Correct.
what happened in their life. But the surgery did not fail you. Something either you failed, something in your life failed, one of your habits failed, something outside of the surgery is
Failed.
what failed. The
Yeah.
surgery did its job. The surgery is 45 minutes. Once that 45 minutes is over, that's done its job.
Surgery did its job.
The rest, after you w wheel out of that recovery room, the rest is on you.
Yeah. And there will be people who, again, didn't lose a lot of weight in the
"My
beginning.
surgery didn't work."
And they'll be all over Reddit saying this surgery
Yeah,
is a waste of time. It didn't work. I only lost 45 pounds. I don't know your life and I don't know what you went through. And it's very easy on Reddit to say that you followed the rules and you did everything. And here's what my life is like. However,
you probably didn't.
there's more to the story that you just don't want to admit.
Yeah,
And it's probably that you're not exercising enough or that
you're not
sure, I'm
tracking.
only eating 600 calories. Is it all carbs? Is it protein? Is it all
Is it all
potatoes?
McDonald's?
There was definitely a month where I just ate mashed potatoes for a month because it's
Yep.
all I wanted. Um, and I hate, there are, like Steph said, circumstances. Like you can get sick, you can get ill, someone can die.
Yeah,
You can be physically unable to exercise. And like, yeah, I'm sorry. I hate to say it.
but that's
Not
not the surgery.
exercising, the weight's going to start coming on. Even if you're like following your eating plan to a T, like when you stop moving, your body's going to start gaining weight. So
Yeah,
just stay on top of it, keep an eye on it, and reach out for help. And that's what we're saying is like you fail is not that you're a failure. It's that maybe something big did happen in your life and you
yeah,
decided to not ask for help and you didn't go to your doctor and say, I'm falling off the wagon with my surgery because of XYZ. Like you don't want to wake up and go, I'm now 400 pounds. I should have talked to them when I gained 20 or
yeah.
30. So don't let the
Don't put yourself
surgery
in that
fail.
situation. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that one's kind of a big one that comes up a lot. Um, Having surgery is gonna fix all my problems with food.
I wish.
Yeah, I fucking wish.
If the surgery was on your brain, maybe,
Yeah, I
but,
had a
like
lobotomy and
right?
forgot what food was
The
like.
the
It
thoughts
won't.
No, they cut out, well, for sleep, they cut out part of your stomach. All of the thoughts are still there. All of the messaging in your brain is still there. All of your old habits are still there. Your old thought processes are still there. That has nothing to do with that.
No.
And that's why, like for our program, we have such a extensive program because so much of it is around habits and
Correct.
putting habits in place before surgery and making those mindset shifts and thinking about food differently and
Mhm.
tracking your food. Like there's so many outside factors, and just like we just talked about, the surgery is 45 minutes.
Correct.
It's everything else that you have to work on,
Correct.
and you have to fix that relationship with food. That is,
Ding,
again,
ding,
that's on
ding.
you.
It's on
That's
you.
not on the surgeon.
Nope. So, no, it won't magically fix your mental health. It won't magically fix your relationship with food. It won't magically fix a lot of things. That's why you need a good therapist. That's why you need to follow and, really work with a clinic is my recommendation. Pay
Yep.
for it if you want to pay for it. But the benefit of a clinic is if you don't make these changes, you'll always have hunger noise. You'll always crave. You'll always binge. It's very easy to go back. I am proof of that. Like it's very easy for me wanting to go back to old habits. And I'm working the program to be like, no, we don't need to do that. We don't need to order out. We don't need to have those things. So no, it doesn't magically fix things at all. You still have to put the work in. The big takeaway from this myth episode, it doesn't magically fix shit. Okay. So don't think it's going to fix your whole life.
No.
Um, Here's another quick fire one because I know we're at the end. Hair loss. I am
Ugh.
never going to get my hair back. That's a
It's
lie. It
It'll come
comes
back.
back.
It take in different stages for different people,
Sure.
different lengths of time for different people. My hair started falling out earlier than what a lot of social media and a lot of people said it would, 'cause, I wasn't even, oh my gosh, I was before the 3-month period,
Yeah,
and
it does
most people,
happen. That does
yeah, most
happen.
people were like, 3 to 4 months. I was 2 months in and the clumps
Okay.
were falling out already, and I remember panicking and thinking I'm gonna be bald, and now I still, like, I've talked about it on social media and you'll see it. I still have, especially at the front,
Yep.
I've lost a lot of hair. There it is, right
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
So I always have these 2 little pieces that I'm like, "Get back,"
I have baby hairs
right?
coming in from my
Yeah.
regrowth, and
But
they're
that's
just
just
like,
it. You'll see I have
"Yay."
flyaways, I have regrowth, I have flyaways, I still have my hair. Yeah, it's a little
Yep.
bit thin,
Still
but
there.
it's temporary.
It's very
It's
temporary.
temporary. I have
Temporary.
noticed already as I've hit 6 months, it's slowing down. It's still
Yes.
there. It's
Yes.
still there, but it's slowing
Yes.
down.
And
Yeah.
you will still lose your hair for the full first year, usually starting at 3 months till
Yep.
12. It is normal. There is nothing you can do to stop this, so
No.
don't buy a ton of stuff or
No.
start pumping your body full of biotin and fucking what is it? Collagen and like
Smearing your
you
head with
can't
rosemary oil.
cannot prevent this from
No,
happening.
it's gonna
It is
happen.
based on a low like the surgery you had and the low calorie diet you're on. The absolute best thing you can do is take your goddamn vitamins, okay? Just take your vitamins,
Mhm.
let that start building up in your system and just trust it will eventually slow down. Mine did stop. Yes, I'm having a little bit of it now, but that's because I was really bad and stopped taking my vitamins because I'm an idiot. But it is gonna happen. You can't prevent it. Don't spend a ton of money on stuff that people tell you really worked and stopped
It
it. Like,
won't.
it doesn't.
It
It's a
won't.
waste of your money. Take your vitamins. It's like, what is that meme? Like, oh my God, people will just do anything but like work out. People will
Yeah.
do anything but take their friggin'
Yeah.
vitamins. They're looking for like a quick, easy solution. The quick and easy
No.
solution is take your goddamn vitamins,
And you
eat
just
your
gotta suck it up
protein,
and deal with it.
and just know that it will stop. It
Yeah,
will
I
stop.
saw an influencer who I guess was one of the lucky ones who didn't really have hair loss,
Oh, must be
and,
nice.
yeah, and she was like, "I'm positive that I didn't have any hair loss because I hit my protein goals every day, and if you hit your protein goals every day, you're not gonna have hair loss too." And I instantly started commenting, and I was
Yeah,
like,
good.
"Nope, crap." I
Total
was like,
crap.
"I overachieve on my protein every day,
And my hair
and
still
I have
falls
been
out.
having hair loss for 3 months. So I
Yep.
hate to break it to ya,
You're full
but
of shit.
no." And I
You
had so
just
many people
yeah,
reply, be like, "Yes, me too, me too."
yeah.
You just
Also,
have
I
to
would
suck
call
it up.
bullshit that she's lying. So,
I
I
know.
would just
I'm
call
like, "You
total
haven't had
bullshit.
any hair loss, whatever."
Yeah.
You just have to suck it up and deal with it. It
Deal
sucks.
with it.
It sucks being in the shower and going like this and having clumps.
Ugh,
It sucks brushing
I
your
know. I
hair
could
and you're
watch. I'll
covered.
probably oh, no,
You're
it has slowed down because 'cause
covered.
I'm back on my vitamins, so
Oh,
yay,
see?
it's falling
But
out.
you just gotta suck it up. It'll
And
grow
your
back.
hair will be different.
It'll grow
So,
back.
like, it fell out, and I used to tell my hairdresser I was bald, and he's like, "You're not bald, it's actually fine." And I was like, "It's not fine, my hair." And
That's
now it's different. Like, it's a little bit more fried is the way to say it. Like the new
Yeah.
hair is coming in, but it's different. It's a
Yeah.
different type of hair than I've had before, less oily, more dry. So I
Yep.
do use serums and things now, but like you can see like it has come back. It's very
Yeah.
full. Like, and trust me guys, I thought I was balding and I would tell people all the time I was going
Mhm.
bald. They were like, "You're actually not going bald." And I'm like, "I'm going bald." It
Mhm.
comes back and your nails start growing again. There'll be a day that you go, "Holy shit, my nails are growing quick." And it's like, "Yes,
Yeah.
you're on your vitamins." Like,
Right? Things are kicking in again.
take your vitamins.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do super quick rapid fire, like yes or
Yeah.
no answers. You have to take vitamins for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Yes, no exceptions. You can never use a straw.
False.
False. Used it like day one out of the fucking hospital,
You were
and
quick.
I
I
didn't
was scared.
die.
I waited. I
I
waited
know.
a bit, but I use straws now.
Ooh.
I
You,
was that person. I
it's
don't be scared. I
fine.
should They said I shouldn't do it, and now I
Yeah,
use it
and
all the
I'm
time.
over here like, "Just have a fucking straw."
I know,
And she's
right?
like, "I
Just do
can't." I
it.
was like, "I'm using one right now."
Yeah. Every day.
Yes, use a
Every day.
straw. You can never have alcohol again.
You can.
False.
Yep, you can.
You can. We'll
You
get into
can.
that in a whole episode, but
Yeah.
false.
Caveat, there's like an
Um,
asterisk
there's
there,
a
but you
huge
can.
asterisk on that.
But
Don't
you
go out
can.
and start binge drinking,
Yeah.
but you could if you wanted.
Yep.
I know we said this earlier, but I'm just gonna go through the rapid fires. You can never eat fruit again.
False.
False. You can never have carbonated beverages again.
False, I had them yesterday.
False. I drink sugar-free ginger ale like a
I drink bubbly water all the
motherfucker.
time.
Um,
Yeah. False.
you must move every day.
Yes, true.
Yes. No exceptions.
Absolutely.
Rare exception. You wanna take a Sunday off, take a fucking
Okay,
Sunday
fine.
off, but okay. Fine.
90% of the time, you have to move
Yeah.
your body. Yeah.
You must have strength training as part of your exercise routine.
True.
True. True.
Yep.
I'm paying the motherfucking price right now for
Anna,
having not done
I'm,
that.
like, staring at her.
I know. Yes,
True.
thank you, I know. Okay, I need to get into
Buy your
this.
dumbbells
Fuck! I know. Okay. Yes, you
True.
must have strength training as part of your routine.
every
Does
day.
not need to be every day, but it needs to be a minimum of 3 days a week.
Yep.
Full stop.
Yeah.
Um, people will judge you for having this surgery.
True.
True.
From the get-go.
Those people can go fuck themselves. True.
Love it.
True. I
Yep.
regret having surgery.
False.
False.
Should have done it sooner.
Should have done it way, way,
Yeah.
way, way, way sooner.
Yeah.
Way, 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 way sooner.
Yeah.
You're gonna look terrible with loose skin.
No.
False.
No. You may be
False.
insecure. I'm
Yep.
already insecure. It's coming. It started. Let's be
But you
honest.
don't look
It started.
terrible.
Right?
I have it. I
Yeah.
have it. It's hard to see, but like,
Just if you don't like it, cover it up.
yep.
You don't have to show it off.
Nope.
But it's, you know what? And well, this isn't rapid fire, but real quick, we've talked, and we'll talk about more about like skin removal surgery.
We
But
will.
like the one thing I've said is like, it's part of your journey. So yes, you may be uncomfortable with it. Yes, you may not like it, but it's part of your journey. It's part of what you've been through, what you've conquered, what you've done.
Wear it with
the-
pride.
Yeah. If you're not comfortable with it, cover it up. But no,
Or
you're
have
not
it
going to look
removed.
horrible.
It's your choice.
Yep.
Yeah. You can never have carbs again.
False.
False. We know that's false. You'll have massive, scary complications. Probably false.
Probably not.
Probably
Probably
false.
not.
It's very
Minuscule
rare.
chance.
It's very rare.
Yeah.
You can stretch your pouch and ruin surgery. Kind of false.
Yeah, stretching your pouch isn't really a thing. You can get rid of your habits. You can eat like crap. You cannot exercise. You can eat past your cues. You can eat a lot of junk. But
Yep.
stretching your pouch isn't really a thing.
It's not really a thing.
That's why,
You
like, if you
think it
say,
is.
"Ooh, let's do a pouch reset," that's not a thing.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Bariatric patients are lazy.
False.
We're some of the hardest working motherfuckers I've ever met in my entire life.
Yeah.
Entire life. So that's false. Surgery, we'll end on this one. Surgery is the easy way out.
False.
Super false. Super false.
Doubles. Yeah, false.
This is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life because this is
100%.
going to be something I have to do for life.
I haven't busted my ass this hard ever.
So we hope that we've broken down some of the myths and the falseness and the fears that are out there about bariatric surgery. Let us know what fears you have and maybe we can help answer them or
Did we
give you
miss
some more
any?
clarity. But ultimately, a lot of what you're going to see is just fear mongering and should not prevent you from having this surgery.
People who failed.
Especially if
A lot of it's people who failed and they want reassurance or they're trying to validate why they
misery
failed.
loves company for a reason.
If it
Or
was that bad, why would so many people get it
So many
done,
people have it.
right?
Yeah.
Be realistic.
And the other thing is, like, a lot of people that you find on the internet haven't had it.
No.
So, they're also looking for justification for backing out and not
Mhm.
doing it. And I'll tell you right now, the fat acceptance community has infiltrated a ton of those groups and,
Yes.
like, actively celebrate when you
Yes.
back out of weight loss surgery because,
Good
like, you're
for
gonna do it on
you.
your own. You won't. I'm
There's
sorry,
nothing
I hate
wrong
to
with
say it,
needing
you
help.
won't.
There's nothing wrong with admitting and
Nothing
saying,
wrong with
"I
this.
need help. I can't do this by myself. I need an extra tool. I need help." There is
Nothing wrong
nothing
with
wrong
that.
with that, and if that's your biggest fear in this, that you know what? It is far
Difficult.
more empowering and, um, such a big step forward to say you need help. I think
Exactly.
that is even bigger than saying, "I can do this on my own." It takes a lot more willpower and vulnerability to say, "I need help. I can't do this.
Correct.
Let's get it done."
I agree.
Yeah.
So that's our myths episode. Next week, we are
The big one.
so fucking excited,
It's
guys.
a big
It is the big one.
one.
It's body dysmorphia with bypass casts.
I'm
So
so
submit your
pumped.
questions. What do you want to ask her? What do you want to know? She
Yeah,
had bypass. We had sleeve. Please follow her on TikTok. TikTok. She's bypass cast on TikTok.
yeah,
She has a crazy big following there, but she posts some of the most amazing videos and gives great advice. And like
yeah.
we're just fangirling over here. But next week,
So
our
pumped.
episode on body dysmorphia with bypass cast. So get all your questions in, submit them via Instagram or send them to us on TikTok. Like we want to know what you want to ask her and what you want to hear.
Yeah,
This is your chance to talk about bypass
mm,
surgery, but also body dysmorphia and
yeah.
how we feel about our bodies. I'm so excited. I can't wait.
She's gonna be great. She's open to lots of topics and discussions too. So like Hannah said,
Yep.
if there's anything you wanna ask her, she's a
Ask
pretty open book.
away.
So she has said, "Whatever you wanna talk about, let me know."
Let's
So
go.
she's also in Canada, which is great, but
Yep.
stay tuned.
Okay.
It's gonna be so good.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
So we'll see you next week for that big episode. Like always, Steph, thanks for joining me on this episode.
Thanks, Hannah. See you guys later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.